Success is not an accident. It is not a lottery ticket you might one day find. It is not the result of luck, talent, or being in the right place at the right time. These are the comfortable lies the 99% tell themselves to justify their own mediocrity, to make peace with their unfulfilled potential. They see the successful person and they see the tip of the iceberg, the wealth, the confidence, the freedom, and they invent a story about the hidden mass of privilege or genius that must lie beneath. They do this to protect their own ego from a devastating and powerful truth. Success is a guarantee. It is the inevitable, predictable, almost mathematical outcome of a specific set of daily actions, repeated with unwavering consistency over time. It is a system. It is a formula. It is an operating system for life, and like any operating system, if you install it and run it, it will produce its designed result. This audiobook is that operating system. We are going to strip away the noise, the complexity, and the motivational fluff that has left you inspired but unchanged. We will install, piece by piece, 7 non-negotiable habits. These are not suggestions. They are not nice ideas to try when you feel like it. They are the fundamental laws that govern the physics of achievement. Most people live their lives in a state of reaction. They have good intentions. They want to be better. They start diets, they buy gym memberships, they set New Year's resolutions. But their lives are governed by their fleeting moods, their momentary impulses, and the chaotic demands of the outside world. Their intentions are a flimsy raft tossed about on a stormy sea. These 7 habits are your anchor. They are your rudder. They are the engine that will power you through any storm, on any day, regardless of how you feel. They are the difference between wishing for a result and guaranteeing it. This is not about a quantum leap. It is about a daily step. This is not about a heroic one-time effort. It is about the quiet, unsexy, and profoundly powerful discipline of showing up every single day. If you are tired of the cycle of starting and stopping, if you are ready to stop being a passive passenger in your own life and start being the deliberate architect of your destiny, then you are in the right place. The path is simple, but it is not easy. It will require you to abandon the excuses of the 99% and adopt the discipline of the 1%. It will demand that you become more than you are today. But the promise is this: if you adopt these 7 habits, if you make them the very bedrock of your existence, success is no longer a probability. It becomes an inevitability. Your future is not something you hope for. It is something you build. And the building starts now. To ensure you stay on this path and continue to receive the hard-hitting truths you need to win, subscribe to this channel right now. Don't be part of the 99% who consume information and do nothing. Be the 1% who commits, acts, and transforms their reality. Subscribe now and let's begin the work. And if you find value by the end of this video, please leave a meaningful comment to keep motivating us to make content like this. Chapter 1. The Habit Fallacy: Why Your Intentions Fail. Before we can install the 7 habits that guarantee success, we must first clear out the corrupted files and faulty programming that are currently running your life. We must address the great habit fallacy, the core misunderstanding that causes 99% of all self-improvement efforts to fail, often within the first few weeks. If you have ever set a goal with fiery intention, only to see it fizzle out into a cloud of guilt and excuses, this chapter is for you. The fallacy is this: you believe that change is a product of motivation and intention. You believe that if you just want it badly enough, if you just get inspired enough, you will take the necessary action. So you spend your time seeking out that motivation. You watch inspiring videos, you read motivational quotes, you wait for that perfect, energized moment when you will finally feel ready to start. You are waiting for a lightning strike. But motivation is a fickle and unreliable fuel source. It is an emotional state, and like all emotions, it is temporary. It is a spark, not a sustainable fire. Relying on motivation to build your life is like trying to build a house on a foundation of shifting sand. The first storm that comes along will wash it all away. Most people's lives are a direct reflection of this flawed strategy. They operate in short, intense bursts of motivation. They are the New Year's resolution crowd, flooding the gym in January, their intensity burning bright and hot. But intensity is exhausting. It cannot be sustained. By February, the initial motivation has faded, the effort feels like a chore, and the gym is once again empty. They did not fail because they were lazy. They did not fail because they didn't want it badly enough. They failed because their entire strategy was built on a lie. They were trying to power their transformation with an emotional spark instead of a systematic engine. The winner, the successful individual, understands this. They have made a profound and life-altering decision. They do not rely on motivation. They rely on habits. They understand that success is not about what you do when you feel inspired. It is about what you do when you don't. It is about building automatic, repeatable behaviors that run on autopilot, regardless of your mood, your energy levels, or the chaos of the world around you. Habits are the architecture of your life. They are the small, seemingly insignificant actions that you perform every single day, which, compounded over time, create every single result you have. Your physical health is the result of your daily eating and exercise habits. Your financial status is the result of your daily saving and spending habits. Your knowledge is the result of your daily learning and consumption habits. You are not your intentions. You are your habits. The second part of the fallacy is the belief in the quantum leap. People think that success requires a massive, life-altering event. They are looking for the one big break, the one heroic action that will change everything overnight. This is a fantasy. It is the byproduct of a culture that glorifies the finish line but ignores the thousands of unsexy, boring steps it took to get there. True, lasting success is never a quantum leap. It is the result of a slow, methodical, almost invisible process of daily, incremental improvement. It is the compound effect in action. It is about getting 1% better every single day. A 1% improvement is barely noticeable. It is so small that most people dismiss it as pointless. But a 1% improvement every day, compounded over a year, results in you becoming nearly 38 times better. This is the magical, mathematical power that the 99% will never harness, because they lack the patience and the discipline to see it through. They are looking for the lottery ticket while the winner is quietly investing $1 a day. Your brain is a habit-making machine. It is designed to automate processes to conserve energy. Every time you perform an action, you are carving a neural pathway. The more you repeat that action, the deeper and wider that pathway becomes, until it is a superhighway that your behavior travels down automatically, without conscious thought. This is true for bad habits, and it is true for good ones. The question is not whether you have habits. The question is whether you are the conscious architect of your habits, or a passive victim of the ones you have accumulated by default. This is the work we are about to begin. We are not going to focus on your goals. We are going to focus on your systems. We are not going to rely on your motivation. We are going to build an engine of discipline. We are going to install 7 core habits that will become the new operating system for your life, the new superhighways in your brain. This requires you to abandon your old beliefs. You must accept that your intentions are worthless without a system of execution. You must accept that small, daily actions are infinitely more powerful than sporadic, grand gestures. You must be willing to trade the exciting drama of intensity for the quiet, methodical power of consistency. If you can make this mental shift, you are ready. You are ready to stop being the person who tries and start being the person who does. You are ready to build a life not on the flimsy foundation of your feelings, but on the unbreakable bedrock of your habits. Chapter 2, Habit 1, The Law of Radical Ownership. Before any other habit can be successfully installed, we must lay the foundation upon which all success is built. This is the master habit, the one that makes all the others possible. If you get this one wrong, nothing else will work. This is the law of radical ownership. It is the absolute, non-negotiable and terrifying acceptance of 100% responsibility for every single aspect of your life. Not 99%, 100%. The 99% of people live their lives as victims. They are professional blamers, experts in the art of the excuse. If they are broke, it is because of the economy, their boss, or the government. If they are unhealthy, it is because of their genetics, their busy schedule, or the high cost of healthy food. If their relationships are failing, it is because of their partner, their family, or their past. Their life is a long, sad story in which they are the perpetual victim, a passive character to whom things just happen. This victim mindset is a poison. It is a warm, comfortable blanket of self-pity that also serves as a cage. As long as you believe that someone or something else is responsible for your problems, you are giving them the power to solve them. You are making yourself a helpless passenger in the vehicle of your own life, waiting for the driver to take you somewhere better. The law of radical ownership is your declaration of independence from this victim mentality. It is the moment you fire everyone else from the job of managing your life, and you seize the steering wheel with both hands. It is the understanding that while you cannot control every event that happens to you, you have absolute, 100% control over your response to those events. And your response is what creates your reality. Your response is where all your power lies. Let's make this brutally clear. Your financial situation is your fault. Your health is your fault. The quality of your relationships is your fault. Your level of happiness is your fault. This is not meant to be a punishment. It is meant to be an emancipation. The moment you accept that it is all your fault is the moment you reclaim the power to change it. If you are the source of the problem, then you can be the source of the solution. Adopting this habit is a conscious, active process. You must begin by conducting what I call a blame audit. Take out a piece of paper and list every single area of your life where you are not getting the results you want. For each one, I want you to honestly answer the question, who or what have I been blaming for this? Be honest. Write it all down. Then next to that, you will answer a new, more powerful set of questions. What was my role in creating this situation? What choices did I make or fail to make that contributed to this outcome? And what is one action I can take right now to begin taking ownership of the solution? This exercise will be incredibly uncomfortable. Your ego will scream in protest. It will fight to maintain its comfortable victim narrative. You must override it. This is the first act of a true leader, a true creator of their own life. The second part of this practice is to transform your language. Your words shape your reality. The 99% use the language of victims. They say things like, I have to go to work. I can't afford that. He made me so angry. This language is passive and powerless. You must replace it with the language of ownership. Instead of I have to go to work, you will say, I choose to go to work because I value providing for my family. Instead of I can't afford that, you will ask, how can I afford that? Instead of he made me angry, you will say, I chose to react with anger to his words. Do you feel the shift? Every statement becomes a choice. It becomes an affirmation of your own agency. You are no longer being acted upon by the world. You are the actor. This is not about ignoring injustice or pretending that external factors don't exist. They do. The world is not always fair, but the law of radical ownership dictates that you must focus exclusively on your circle of control. You cannot control the economy, but you can control your skills, your work ethic, and your spending habits. You cannot control what another person says or does, but you can control how you interpret their actions and how you choose to respond. The victim focuses on what they cannot control, which leads to a feeling of helplessness. The owner focuses on what they can control, which leads to a feeling of power. This is the bedrock. This is the foundation. Every habit we will discuss from this point forward requires you to first be standing on the firm ground of absolute ownership. You cannot build a system of action if you believe someone else is responsible for your inaction. You cannot become a relentless learner if you believe you already know everything and your problems are someone else's fault. You cannot be consistent if you believe your circumstances give you an excuse to quit. This is your first test. Are you willing to give up the comfortable warmth of your excuses in exchange for the cold, hard, and magnificent power of control? Are you ready to stop being the narrator of a sad story and start being the author of an epic one? If the answer is yes, then you have mastered the first and most important habit. You are no longer a victim. You are the architect. Now, let's get to work on the blueprints. Chapter 3, Habit 2, The Bias Toward Action. Now that you have seized the steering wheel of your life through radical ownership, you are faced with a choice. You can either sit in the driver's seat, endlessly analyzing the map, planning the perfect route and waiting for the traffic to clear, or you can put the car in gear and start driving. The second habit that guarantees success is a relentless, unwavering bias toward action. The 99% of people are professional thinkers, planners, and researchers. They are amateur doers. They are trapped in a state I call analysis paralysis. They believe that the secret to success is to have the perfect plan, to know all the variables, to eliminate all risk before they begin. So they read another book. They watch another tutorial. They make another pro and con list. They spend their days consuming information and their nights dreaming of the results they will one day achieve. They live in a perpetual state of getting ready to get ready. Their motion is a comforting illusion of progress, but they are not actually moving forward. They are just spinning their wheels, stuck in the mud of their own intellectual comfort zone. The winner, the successful individual, operates on a completely different principle. They understand that clarity does not come from thinking, it comes from doing. They know that you cannot steer a parked car. They would rather take imperfect action now than wait for a perfect plan that will never arrive. They have a deep, instinctual bias toward closing the gap between idea and execution as quickly as possible. This is not about being reckless. It is about understanding that action is not just the final step in the process. It is the most important part of the learning process itself. Action is data. When you take action, you get feedback from the real world. You find out what works and what doesn't. A business plan is a beautiful work of fiction until the first time you try to sell something to a real customer. A workout plan is a fantasy until you feel the burn of the first repetition. The 99% are terrified of this feedback. They are terrified of making a mistake, of looking foolish, of failing. So they stay safely in the realm of theory, where they can never be wrong. The winner craves feedback. They know that failure is not an indictment of their worth. It is the tuition they pay for their education. They fail fast, they learn faster, and they adapt fastest. Their mantra is not ready, aim, fire. It is ready, fire, aim. They take a shot, see where it lands, and then adjust their aim for the next one. This iterative process of action feedback adjustment is the engine of all rapid progress. So how do you cultivate this habit? You must declare war on passive consumption. You must shift your identity from being a consumer of information to a producer of results. For every hour you spend learning something, you must spend at least an hour applying it. This creates a healthy balance and prevents you from falling into the trap of endless research. A powerful tool to cultivate this bias is the 2-minute rule. We've discussed it before, but its importance cannot be overstated. For any task you are procrastinating on, You must break it down into an action that can be started in under 2 minutes. You are not trying to complete the task. You are trying to destroy the inertia of inaction. The biggest battle is the one against starting. The 2-minute rule makes starting so easy that your brain can't argue with it. This is the practical, daily application of a bias toward action. Another critical technique is to set action-based goals instead of outcome-based goals. An outcome-based goal is lose 20 pounds. This is a result you don't have direct control over. An action-based goal is go for a 30-minute walk every day. This is a process you have 100% control over. The 99% focus on the outcome and get discouraged when it doesn't happen quickly. The winner focuses on executing the daily action, trusting that if they consistently perform the right actions, the outcome is guaranteed. They fall in love with the process of doing, not just the dream of having. This habit is about becoming a scientist of your own life. Your ideas and plans are just hypotheses. The only way to test a hypothesis is to run an experiment. Every action you take is an experiment. You are constantly gathering data, learning, and iterating. This mindset removes the emotional weight of success and failure. You are not winning or losing. You are simply running experiments and getting smarter. This is a fundamental rewiring of how you approach your ambitions. You must stop waiting for confidence to act. Action is the source of confidence, not the other way around. Every time you take a small, decisive action, you are providing yourself with evidence that you are a person who does things. You are building a track record of execution. This is the only source of real, earned confidence. The 99% are waiting for the perfect moment. You must understand that the perfect moment is a myth. The only moment you have is now. The only way to guarantee a future of success is to take decisive action in this present moment. You have taken ownership. You are in the driver's seat. The second habit is to put the car in gear and press the accelerator. Don't worry about the perfect destination. Just start driving. You can adjust your course along the way. The map is only revealed to those who are in motion. Chapter 4, Habit 3, The Art of Ruthless Prioritization. You have embraced ownership and you have committed to a bias toward action. This is a powerful combination. However, action without direction is just chaos. You can be the busiest person in the world, taking massive action every single day, and still end up making zero progress toward a life of significance. This is the trap of the busy fool, and it is where many ambitious people get stuck. The third habit that guarantees success is the art of ruthless prioritization. It is the understanding that not all tasks are created equal. In any given field, on any given day, there are a vital few actions that produce the vast majority of the results. The 99% of people operate on a flat earth model of productivity. They treat every task on their to-do list as if it has equal weight. Answering a trivial email feels just as important as working on their most critical project. They are guided by a sense of false urgency, reacting to whatever is loudest, newest, or easiest. As a result, they spend their days engaged in shallow work, tasks that create a feeling of being busy but produce very little real value. They are like a hamster on a wheel, running furiously but going nowhere. The winner, the successful individual, understands the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. This principle states that, in many situations, roughly 80% of the results come from only 20% of the efforts. The winner's entire life is a strategic quest to identify and then obsessively focus on that vital 20%. They are not interested in being busy. They are interested in being effective. They are not trying to do more things. They are trying to do more of the right things. This requires a level of clarity and courage that most people lack. It requires the clarity to identify your single most important task for any given day, and the courage to say no to everything else that threatens to distract you from it. The master skill of prioritization is the ability to distinguish between the urgent and the important. The urgent tasks are the ones that scream for your attention right now. The ringing phone, the incoming email, the colleague at your door. They are often other people's priorities masquerading as your own. The important tasks are the ones that contribute directly to your long-term goals and mission. They are the deep work, the strategic thinking, the skill development. They rarely scream for your attention. They are quiet. They require you to be proactive. The 99% live their lives in a constant state of reaction to the urgent. Their days are dictated by their inbox. They are firefighters, constantly putting out small blazes but never getting a chance to build anything new. The winner has a system for ruthlessly protecting their time and energy for the important. The most powerful system for this is to define your one thing. Before you start your workday, or even the night before, you must ask yourself the focusing question: what is the one thing I can do, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? This is not about your entire to-do list. This is about identifying the single highest leverage action, the lead domino that will knock over all the others. Once you have identified your one thing for the day, you must protect the first part of your day to work on it, and only it. This is your deep work block. For the first 90 minutes or 2 hours of your day, before you check email, before you attend any meetings, you give your best energy to your most important task. You are paying yourself first, not with your money, but with your most valuable currency, your focus. This requires you to be comfortable with letting small, urgent things wait. An email might go unanswered for a few hours. A non-critical task might get pushed to the afternoon. The 99% are terrified of this. They have a deep-seated need to clear their inbox and appear responsive. They are addicted to the cheap thrill of completing small, easy tasks. The winner has the discipline to tolerate a little bit of short-term chaos in exchange for massive long-term progress. They understand that what they say no to is just as important as what they say yes to. This is the art of the strategic no. Every time you say yes to a low-value request, you are implicitly saying no to a high-value activity. You must become a ruthless guardian of your time. You must have the courage to decline meetings that don't have a clear agenda, to ignore requests that don't align with your priorities, and to set clear boundaries with others. This will feel uncomfortable. You might disappoint some people, but you must decide who you are trying to please, everyone else or the best version of your future self. Prioritization is not a one-time decision. It is a daily, hourly practice. It is a constant process of asking, is this the absolute best use of my attention right now? It is about having the clarity to know what truly matters and the discipline to focus on that, and only that until it is done. The 99% drown in the complexity of trying to do everything. The winner finds power in the simplicity of doing the one thing that counts. Identify your 20%. Find your one thing. And then, with a single-minded focus that borders on obsession, execute it. That is the habit that transforms chaotic action into targeted, unstoppable progress. Chapter 5, Habit 4, The Power of Daily Systemization. You now have a clear target for your action, thanks to the habit of ruthless prioritization. You know what your one thing is. The next great challenge, the one that derails most people, is how to execute on that priority, not just on the days you feel motivated, but every single day. The fourth habit that guarantees success is to stop relying on willpower and start building systems. It is the power of daily systemization. The 99% approach their important tasks with a reliance on their own internal state. They wait until they feel creative to write. They wait until they feel energetic to exercise. They rely on their conscious mind to make the right decision in the moment. This is a fundamentally flawed strategy. Willpower is a finite resource. It is like a battery that starts full in the morning and drains with every decision you make, every temptation you resist, and every emotional response you regulate. By the end of the day, your willpower battery is depleted, which is why you are far more likely to skip your workout or eat junk food in the evening than you are in the morning. Relying on willpower to consistently do hard things is like trying to drive a car across the country with only one tank of gas. You are guaranteed to run out of fuel. The winner understands this. They do not leave their success up to the whims of their daily motivation or the strength of their willpower. They build systems. A system is a pre-decided, automated process for executing a specific action. It is a habit that has been deliberately designed and integrated into the fabric of your day. A system outsources the decision-making process from your unreliable, emotional brain to a reliable, pre-committed plan. The goal of a system is to make your desired actions the default, the automatic path, so that it requires less willpower to do them than it does to not do them. The most powerful form of systemization is the creation of a daily routine or ritual. You do not just hope you will work on your one thing. You schedule a specific, non-negotiable time to do it. As we discussed, this is often the first 90 minutes of your day. This is your deep work system. The system is not just the time block itself. It is the entire sequence of events that leads up to it. It is your pre-action ritual. For a writer, the system might be 6. 6:00 a.m. wake up. 6:05 a.m. drink a glass of water. 6:10 a.m. make coffee. 6:15 a.m. sit at a clean desk with the document open. 6:15 to 7:45 a.m. write. They are not deciding whether to write. The decision has already been made. They are simply executing the system. Their brain doesn't have a chance to argue or procrastinate because the path has already been laid out. They are on rails. Another powerful system is to design your environment to support your habits, as we've discussed. You are creating a system of cues. If your system is to go to the gym in the morning, you lay out your gym clothes the night before. This visual cue makes the next step in the system automatic. If your system is to read every night, you put a book on your pillow. You are making the right choice the easy choice. The 99% try to use willpower to fight against a bad system. They try to eat healthy while their kitchen is filled with junk food. The winner builds a system that makes willpower unnecessary. Their kitchen is a system designed for healthy eating. The junk food is not even there. You must become an engineer of your own behavior. Look at the habits you want to build and ask, how can I build a system around this that makes it automatic? If you want to save more money, the system is to set up an automatic transfer to your savings account the day you get paid. You don't decide to save, the system saves for you. If you want to learn a new skill, the system is to block out 30 minutes in your calendar every single day for learning, and to have the book or the course ready to go during that time. The 99% see discipline as a character trait. They think you are either a disciplined person or you are not. The winner knows that discipline is not a trait, it is a result. It is the result of having a good system. A disciplined person is simply someone who has built a set of systems that make it easy for them to act in a disciplined way. This is one of the most liberating ideas you will ever encounter. You do not need to become a new person. You do not need more willpower. You need better systems. Stop blaming yourself for your lack of discipline and start taking responsibility for your lack of systems. This is the habit that makes consistency possible. A system is what carries you through the days when you are unmotivated. A system is what ensures you make progress even when you are tired. It is the engine that powers your vehicle, running smoothly and reliably in the background, consuming far less energy than the manual, herky-jerky process of relying on willpower. What is the one critical action in your life that you are still relying on willpower to perform? Your mission is to build a system around it. Design the ritual. Schedule the time. Engineer the environment. Automate the decision. Turn your conscious struggle into an unconscious, automatic success. That is the power of daily systemization. Chapter 6, Habit 5, The Mandate for Relentless Learning. You have taken ownership. You are taking action on the right things, and you have built systems to ensure you do it consistently. This engine will move you forward. But in a world that is constantly changing, moving forward is not enough. You must be constantly adapting, improving, and evolving. The fifth habit that guarantees success is a non-negotiable, lifelong commitment to relentless learning. The 99% operate on a model of education that is finite. They see learning as a phase they went through. They went to school, they got their degree or their certification, and then their formal education ended. They graduated. From that point on, their learning becomes passive and accidental. They might pick up a few things on the job, but there is no deliberate, structured process for growth. They are relying on a knowledge base that is becoming more obsolete with every passing day. They are like a company that has a great product but has shut down its research and development department. They are coasting, and in the modern economy, if you are coasting, you are going downhill. The winner, the successful individual, understands that their greatest asset is not what they know, but their ability to learn. They have a growth mindset. They do not see their intelligence or their talents as fixed traits. They see them as muscles that can be grown and strengthened through deliberate effort. They are not just a professional at their job. They are a professional student of their craft. For them, graduation was not an end. It was the beginning of their real education. This commitment to relentless learning is not a vague intention. It is a habit, a system. The most effective way to practice this is to schedule time for learning into your daily routine. This is a non-negotiable block of time, just like your deep work block. It could be 30 minutes in the morning, during your lunch break, or in the evening. During this time, you are engaged in the deliberate consumption and processing of high-quality information. The primary tool for this is reading. There is no problem you will face in your life that someone else has not already solved and written about in a book. Books are the condensed wisdom of the greatest minds in history. The 99% say they don't have time to read. The winner knows they don't have time not to. They are voracious readers, not just within their own field but across a wide range of disciplines, because they know that true innovation often comes from connecting ideas from different fields. But learning is not just about consumption. It is about processing and application. The winner does not just read. They engage with the material. They read with a pen in their hand, underlining, making notes, and arguing with the author in the margins. After they finish a chapter, they pause and they ask, "What is the key idea here, and how can I apply this to my life or my work?" They then take the time to summarize the idea in their own words, perhaps in a journal or a digital note-taking system. This act of processing is what turns information into usable knowledge. The final and most crucial step is to consistently apply what you are learning. Knowledge that is not put into practice is worthless. You must constantly be running small experiments, trying out the new ideas you encounter. This closes the loop between theory and reality. The 99% are information hoarders. They have a library of unread books and a hard drive full of unfinished courses. The winner is an information processor and an implementer. Their goal is not to know more. Their goal is to be able to do more. This habit of relentless learning is the ultimate form of career insurance. In a world of artificial intelligence and automation, the skills that are most valuable are the ones that are uniquely human: creativity, critical thinking, and the ability to learn and adapt. By committing to being a lifelong learner, you are constantly upgrading your own mental software, ensuring that you will always be able to provide value, no matter how much the world changes. This habit also has a profound impact on your mindset. It cultivates humility. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. It keeps you curious, engaged, and open to new ideas. It prevents the mental rigidity and arrogance that can come with early success. The 99% are know-it-alls. The winner is a learn-it-all. What is your learning system? Do you have a scheduled time for it? Do you have a process for capturing and applying what you learn? If not, you are leaving your most important asset to chance. Make the decision today to become a relentless learner. See every day as an opportunity to get a little bit smarter, a little bit more capable. While the rest of the world is stagnating, you will be compounding your knowledge. And over a lifetime, the gap between you and them will be a chasm so wide it will be insurmountable. This is the habit that ensures your success is not just achieved, but sustained and expanded for the rest of your life. Chapter 7, Habit 6, The Practice of Strategic Discomfort. You are now operating a powerful engine for success. You have ownership, you're taking action on the right things, you have systems to keep you consistent, and you are constantly learning and improving. At this point, it would be easy to get comfortable. You are far ahead of the 99%, but there is another level. There is a habit practiced by the world's elite performers that separates the successful from the truly extraordinary. This is the sixth habit, the conscious and deliberate practice of seeking out discomfort. The 99% of people are driven by a deep, primal instinct to seek comfort and avoid pain. Their entire life is an optimization for ease. They choose the easy meal over the healthy one. They choose the elevator over the stairs. They choose the entertaining video over the challenging book. They choose to stay in their intellectual and professional comfort zone, only taking on tasks they already know how to do. Their primary goal is to minimize friction and avoid the feeling of struggle. And in doing so, they have signed the death warrant on their own growth. Growth and comfort are mutually exclusive. They cannot coexist. All growth, physical, mental, emotional, professional, happens at the edge of your current abilities. It happens in the moment of strain, in the feeling of awkwardness, in the discomfort of being a clumsy beginner. The muscle does not grow when you are lifting a comfortable weight. It grows when you are struggling with the last difficult repetition. The winner understands this fundamental law. They do not run from discomfort, they run towards it. They have reframed the feeling of struggle in their mind. For the 99%, struggle is a sign to stop. It is a signal of potential failure. For the winner, struggle is a sign that they are in the growth zone. It is the feeling of their potential expanding. They have learned to fall in love with the feeling that most people will do anything to avoid. This is not about seeking out pointless pain or being a masochist. It is about being strategic. It is the practice of strategic discomfort. It is about identifying the specific areas of your life where you want to grow, and then deliberately and systematically pushing yourself into the zone of discomfort in those areas. If you want to become a better public speaker, The path is not to read more books about public speaking. The path is to deliberately seek out opportunities to speak in public, to feel the terror of standing in front of an audience, to have your voice shake, and to push through it. If you want to become mentally tougher, the path is to deliberately do things that are hard, to take a cold shower, to wake up an hour earlier, to complete a difficult workout when you want to quit. You are not just building the skill, you are building the identity of a person who does hard things. One of the most powerful ways to practice strategic discomfort is to consistently seek out feedback. The 99% are terrified of honest feedback. Their ego is fragile. They want to be told they are doing a great job. The winner actively hunts for criticism. They know that their blind spots are their biggest areas of opportunity. They go to the people who will tell them the truth, not the people who will tell them what they want to hear. They ask questions like, "What is one thing I could be doing better?" Or, "What is the weakest part of this proposal?" This kind of feedback is uncomfortable to hear, but it is pure gold. It is a roadmap for your improvement. Another way to practice this is to adopt a beginner's mindset and constantly be trying new things that you are bad at. Learn a new instrument. Try a new sport. Take a class in a subject you know nothing about. This act of being a clumsy beginner is incredibly humbling. It keeps your ego in check, and it trains your brain to be comfortable with the feeling of not knowing, which is the prerequisite for all true learning. The 99% stick to what they are good at, because it feels good to feel competent. The winner is willing to feel incompetent in the short term, because they know it is the only way to expand their range of competencies in the long term. This habit is a profound recalibration of your internal compass. You are teaching yourself to navigate not by the North Star of comfort, but by the North Star of growth. You start to see every challenge, every difficulty, every setback not as a threat, but as an opportunity. The hard conversation you've been avoiding is an opportunity to grow your communication skills. The complex project you're afraid to take on is an opportunity to expand your professional abilities. You are transforming your entire relationship with difficulty. What is the one thing you are currently avoiding because it feels uncomfortable? Your mission is to identify that thing and to take one small atomic step towards it. Lean into the friction. Welcome the struggle. This is the habit that separates the great from the good. It is the habit that ensures you never plateau. While the rest of the world is huddling in the warm, stagnant harbor of their comfort zone, you will be out on the open sea, navigating the stormy waters of growth, becoming stronger, more capable, and more resilient with every wave you conquer. Chapter 8, Habit 7, The Unbreakable Rule of Consistency. We have arrived at the final and most powerful habit. This is the habit that binds all the others together. It is the master principle that transforms good intentions into a masterpiece of a life. It is the force multiplier that takes all your other efforts and magnifies them 1,000-fold. This is the seventh habit, the unbreakable rule. You must be consistent. We have touched on this throughout our journey, but now we must confront it head-on. This is the single greatest separator between the successful and the unsuccessful. It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not resources. It is the sheer, dogged, unsexy, and world-changing power of showing up, day after day, week after week, year after year. The 99% are dabblers. They are sprinters in a marathon. They operate on the myth of intensity, which we have already destroyed. They get a burst of motivation. They take massive action for a short period. They see no immediate dramatic results and they quit. Their entire life is a graveyard of half-finished projects, abandoned goals, and broken promises to themselves. They are perpetually starting over. The winner, the successful individual, is a master of consistency. They are the tortoise, not the hare. They understand that the greatest achievements in life are not the product of a single, heroic effort, but the cumulative result of thousands of small, disciplined actions performed with relentless regularity. They are not trying to win the week. They are trying to win the decade. This habit is built on a deep understanding of the compound effect. It is the principle that small, consistent actions over a long period lead to exponential results. The first few months or even years of your consistent efforts may seem to produce very little. This is the plateau of latent potential. It is the period where all your effort is going into building a foundation that is not yet visible. This is where the 99% quit. They mistake the lack of visible results for a lack of progress. The winner has faith in the process. They know they are the bamboo tree, building a massive root system underground. They know that the explosive, visible growth will come later. They have the patience and the foresight to keep watering the seed even when they see no sprout. So how do you practice the habit of consistency? The most powerful tool is the mantra, never miss twice. We've discussed it, but let's cement it. Perfection is impossible. You will have days where you fall off track. The key is to not let one missed day become two. One missed day is an accident. 2 missed days is the start of a new negative habit. The never miss twice rule is your circuit breaker. It ensures that a single slip does not become a downward spiral. The day after you miss, getting back on track is your absolute #1 priority, even if you only perform the smallest 2-minute version of your habit. You are not trying to be perfect. You are trying to be consistent. The second technique is to focus on the process, not the outcome. The 99% are obsessed with their goals. They are motivated by the finish line. The winner falls in love with the daily system. They derive their satisfaction not from the distant dream of the result, but from the immediate pride of showing up today. They focus on winning the day. They know that if they win enough days, the weeks, months, and years will take care of themselves. You must learn to celebrate the act of execution, not just the achievement of the goal. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you are winning. This creates a daily feedback loop of success that is far more sustainable than pinning all your hopes on a far-off prize. Consistency is also about managing your energy, not just your time. You cannot be consistent if you are constantly burning yourself out. This is why the myth of intensity is so dangerous. The winner understands that success is a marathon, not a sprint. They build systems for rest, recovery, and renewal into their lives. They protect their sleep. They take breaks. They have hobbies outside of their work. They are not a machine. They are a human being, and they understand that sustainable performance requires sustainable practices. They are playing the long game. This final habit is the one that truly guarantees success. Because if you are consistent, you cannot fail. You might be slow. You might stumble. You might have to change your strategy. But if you simply refuse to quit, if you just keep showing up, you will eventually outlast the talented. You will learn the intelligent, and you will outmaneuver the lucky. Your persistence will become an unstoppable force of nature. The 99% are looking for a secret. They are looking for a shortcut. You now know the secret. The secret is that there is no secret. The secret is to do the boring, fundamental, unsexy work every single day for years. The secret is to show up when you don't feel like it. The secret is consistency. This is the final and most important law. Embrace it. Live by it. And it will, without fail, make you unstoppable. Chapter 9. The Habit Stack, Forging an Unstoppable Identity. We have now laid out the 7 fundamental habits that guarantee success. Radical ownership, a bias toward action, ruthless prioritization, daily systemization, relentless learning, strategic discomfort, and unwavering consistency. Each of these habits on its own is powerful. But when they are combined, when they are stacked one on top of the other and integrated into a single, cohesive operating system for your life, their effect is not additive, it is exponential. This is where you move from practicing good habits to forging an unstoppable identity. The 99% think of habits as isolated behaviors. They try to add a habit of going to the gym to a life that is otherwise chaotic and undisciplined. This is like trying to plant a beautiful flower in a field of weeds and toxic soil. It is unlikely to survive. The winner understands that these 7 habits are not separate. They are deeply interconnected. They support and reinforce one another, creating a powerful upward spiral of growth and achievement. This is the habit stack. Let's look at how they work together. Your foundation is radical ownership. This is the fertile soil. Because you accept 100% responsibility, you are empowered to take action. You are no longer waiting for someone else to solve your problems. This naturally leads to a bias toward action. You are the one in charge, so you start moving. But action without direction is chaos. So you apply the habit of ruthless prioritization. You use your bias for action not on trivialities, but on the one thing that matters most. Now you have targeted action. But how do you sustain this targeted action day after day? You don't rely on willpower. You build a system around it, which is the habit of daily systemization. This system ensures you are consistently taking the right action, day in and day out. This is the unbreakable rule of consistency in practice. But the world changes. The right action today may not be the right action tomorrow. How do you ensure your system doesn't become obsolete? You integrate the habit of relentless learning. Your daily learning system feeds new insights and strategies into your action system, allowing you to constantly adapt and improve. You are not just doing the same thing over and over. You are getting 1% better every day. But learning and improving requires you to step outside of what you already know. It requires you to be a beginner, to be uncomfortable. This is where you apply the habit of strategic discomfort. You actively seek out the challenges, the feedback, and the difficult tasks that will force your system to evolve and become stronger. You are stress testing your own machine to make it more resilient. Each habit flows into the next, creating a self-reinforcing loop. Ownership fuels action. Prioritization directs action. Systemization sustains action. Learning improves action. Discomfort hardens action. And consistency compounds action. This integrated system is what forges your new identity. You are no longer a person who is trying to be successful. You are simply a person who lives by this code. This is who you are. When you face a setback, you don't crumble because radical ownership is your default. When you feel stuck, you don't procrastinate because a bias toward action is your instinct. When you feel overwhelmed, you don't get busy with trivial tasks because ruthless prioritization is your strategy. When you feel unmotivated, you don't quit because your daily systems carry you forward. This is the essence of becoming. You are not just changing what you do. You are changing who you are at a fundamental level. Your identity is no longer based on your thoughts, your feelings, or your intentions. It is based on the undeniable evidence of your daily habits. The 99% have a fragmented identity. They are one person at work, another at home, another on the weekends. Their behavior is inconsistent and dictated by their environment and their mood. The winner, the one who has stacked these 7 habits, has an integrated and powerful identity. They are the same person, operating on the same principles in every area of their life. Their success is not compartmentalized. It is holistic. They are successful in their career, in their health, in their relationships, because they apply the same fundamental laws of ownership, action, and consistency to everything they do. This is your goal. Not to just pick and choose 1 or 2 of these habits, but to weave them all together into the very fabric of your being. This is a lifelong practice. You will never be perfect at it. There will be days when one of the pillars of your stack feels weak. Your job is to simply notice and to gently but firmly reinforce it the next day. This is not about achieving a final state of perfection. It is about committing to a continuous process of becoming. This habit stack is your personal constitution. It is the set of laws by which you have chosen to govern your own life. Live by this constitution and you will not just achieve success. You will become it. Chapter 10: The Infinite Game: Sustaining Success for a Lifetime. You have been given the 7 habits. You understand how to stack them into a cohesive system that forges an unstoppable identity. You have the complete blueprint. The final, and perhaps most important, question is this: how do you sustain it? How do you ensure that this transformation is not a temporary phase, but a permanent evolution that lasts for the rest of your life? The answer lies in one final, critical mindset shift. You must stop seeing success as a finite game and start seeing it as an infinite game. The 99% play a finite game. A finite game has known players, fixed rules, and an agreed-upon objective that, when reached, ends the game. It is a game you play to win. Graduating from college, getting a promotion, buying a house, these are all finite games. The problem with a life built on finite games is that the satisfaction of winning is always fleeting. You reach the goal, you feel a momentary sense of accomplishment, and then you are left with an empty feeling of what's next. Your motivation is tied to the destination, not the journey. The winner, the person who achieves lasting success and fulfillment, understands that life itself is an infinite game. An infinite game has known and unknown players. The rules are changeable, and the objective is not to win, but to continue playing to perpetuate the game. The goal is not to be the best. It is to be better than you were yesterday. When you adopt an infinite game mindset, your entire perspective changes. Your 7 habits are no longer a means to an end. They are the way you play the game. The joy is not in reaching a specific outcome. The joy is in the daily process of practicing the habits themselves. Radical ownership is not a tool to fix a problem. It is the way you choose to see the world forever. Consistency is not a strategy to achieve a goal. It is the rhythm of your existence. The game never ends. There is no finish line where you can declare victory and stop playing. This is not a depressing thought. It is the most liberating thought of all. It removes the pressure of the all-or-nothing goal. It means that a setback is not a loss. It is simply a move in the game that provides you with new information to help you play better in the next round. A failure does not knock you out of the game. It is part of the game. The only way to truly lose the infinite game is to stop playing. Sustaining your success, therefore, is not about maintaining a perfect record. It is about having the resilience and the commitment to get back up and continue playing day after day. It is about your devotion to the process. To sustain this for a lifetime, you must have a why that is bigger than any single finite goal. Your why is your purpose, your mission, the contribution you want to make to the world. A finite goal like making $1 million can be a powerful motivator in the short term, but it is not enough to sustain you for decades. But a why like building a business that solves a meaningful problem for people, or becoming a master craftsman and creating work that inspires others, is an infinite game. You can never fully win at it. There is always a new level of mastery, a new way to contribute. This infinite purpose is the ultimate fuel source. It is what will get you out of bed on the days when your discipline wavers. You are not just practicing your habits for yourself. You are practicing them in service of your mission. The 99% are sprinting from one finite finish line to the next, constantly seeking the next hit of achievement to feel worthy. The winner is on a long, magnificent journey, an infinite game of personal evolution and contribution. Their self-worth is not tied to winning, but to the courage and commitment they bring to the act of playing. As we conclude this journey, I want you to look not just at the next year, but at the next 10, 20, 50 years of your life. See your life as one long, infinite game. The 7 habits you have learned are not a temporary training regimen. They are the rules by which you will play for the rest of your days. There will be good rounds and bad rounds. There will be wins and there will be lessons. The only thing that matters is that you stay in the game, that you wake up tomorrow and you continue to play, that you choose to own your world, to act, to prioritize, to systematize, to learn, to be uncomfortable, and above all, to be consistent. This is the path to a life that is not just successful in the conventional sense, but is also deeply meaningful, resilient, and fulfilling. It is a life where the joy is found in the struggle, the growth is found in the process, and the ultimate victory is found in the simple, profound act of continuing to play. The game is afoot. Go and play it well. The closing. We stand at the end of this blueprint, but at the very beginning of your new reality. The 7 habits that guarantee success are no longer a secret. They are a choice. They are a path laid out before you. Most people will hear these words and feel a flicker of inspiration. They will agree with the logic. And then, tomorrow, they will wake up and do what they have always done. They will choose the comfort of their old habits over the challenge of their new potential. The gap between knowing the path and walking the path is where 99% of dreams go to die. But you are not most people. You have stayed to the very end because you are a builder, an architect, a creator. You are ready to close that gap. You now understand that success is not a mystery to be solved, but a system to be implemented. It is the guaranteed result of a specific set of daily inputs. Your life is a grand equation, and these 7 habits are the variables that you control. Own your life, act with purpose, prioritize ruthlessly, systematize your discipline, learn relentlessly, seek discomfort, and above all, be consistent. This is the formula. There is no other. I want you to see the person you will become if you commit to this path. See the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who has absolute trust in themselves, because they have a long track record of keeping the promises they make. See the freedom of someone who is no longer a slave to their moods or their circumstances, but is the calm commander of their own ship. See the mastery of someone who has compounded their skills day by day into a level of expertise that is undeniable. This person is not a fantasy. It is your destiny, waiting for you to claim it through your daily actions. This is no longer about success. This is about your character. This is about forging a new identity. You are not a person who is trying to be disciplined. You are a disciplined person. You are not a person who is trying to be successful. You are a successful person because you live by the habits of success. The prize is not the destination. The prize is the person you become on the journey. The prize is the self-respect you earn in the quiet moments of the morning when you choose to do the hard thing, not because anyone is watching, but because it is who you are. The time for learning is done. The time for living it begins now. Do not try to implement all 7 habits at once. Choose one. Begin with radical ownership. Make that your entire world. Then stack the next. Let your transformation be a product of the same principles, small, consistent, daily steps. The path is clear. The choice is yours. The world is full of people who start, Be one of the rare few who finish. Be one of the rare few who continues forever. The game is waiting. Go and play.